Hi, welcome back here to RETV on our premiere episode of Real Estate Roundtable. We're so excited to be able to bring this to you. And one of the reasons that I was excited about starting this forum was to be able to bring great guests on who are experienced in the real estate industry. And our guest today would be a fine example of that. Joining us is Krystal Cologne. Krystal is in New Jersey. She is a real estate expert now, I believe, for 5 years. And Krystal, thanks a lot for coming on today. How are you?
I'm doing well, Steve. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. So thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about how you got into real estate and what it is that gave you the passion to want to get into this exciting world of buying and selling houses.
Initially, I didn't want anything to do with real estate. My mom used to watch HGTV when I was younger, and she just had the channel on nonstop, and it was just all the shows just kept repeating, and I was like, oh my goodness, when is this going to end? And then I just found I become fond of it. I guess me and my mom started watching it together, and I just was like, hey, I want to be a real estate agent when I get older, and I made that come true.
Here you are. Good for you. Good for you. And you mostly sell residential properties, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And I know that you're in New Jersey. And tell us what the real estate market's in New Jersey. What's going on as far as any changes? Have you seen these trends affecting business there in New Jersey?
I mean, obviously the interest rates are crazy right now. The mortgage rates are crazy. So, instead of having a lot of people back off and not want to be involved in real estate, a lot of people that backed off at the end of last year, buyers that said they weren't interested in anymore, they wanted to wait a while, they came back into play, and they're like, you know what, the interest rates may never go lower again, so we might as well just jump in. So a lot of people are coming back in, and they're just dealing with the 7% interest rates that we have now.
Right. People always need houses, right?
Exactly.
They're always looking to buy houses. For someone that's ready to get into the market, you just kind of touched on it. What would be the types of things you would tell them to prepare to be ready to go in and have the proper information they need to be a real buyer and be able to get an effective deal in the market right now?
I just want to, make sure that their debt to income ratio isn't absurd, meaning they didn't just go, lease a car last month and now they have $700 a month payments. Obviously, that's going to affect their debt to income ratio. We want to make sure that their credit score is at least a 580 to qualify for FHA. You need a 580 or above credit score. I want to make sure that they have some funds in the bank for the down payment and closing costs as well. A lot of people, think that a down payment is taken out of the closing costs in the back end, but it's not. So you need down payment, closing costs as well. And just make sure they're prepared. Obviously we want someone who's eager, and if we find a house, we want someone who's willing to put an offer in on it, not someone who's going to shop around for 3, 4, 5 months. Their interest rate will go up. They're going to have to get pre-approved again multiple times because pre-approvals only last most of the time 90 days. So in order to lock in the rate that they're pre-approved with, we want to make sure that they find a home and purchase one, hopefully within 90 days.
Awesome. And from the seller's perspective, with the changing in the marketplace, and what should they be looking for? Coming in realistically with a house to sell. If they were coming to you today and they asked you to kind of manage what their expectations would be, what would you tell
them? Tell them, make sure the house is ready. And that they don't have any personal items out. When someone comes to look at a house, they want to be able to envision themselves and their family in the house, not see, all pictures. And also I've gone into houses where people want to list. It's kind of like a hoarder issue going on, so we want to make sure that the house is clean. People can envision themselves walking in that house or living in that house, and just make sure that they're not too emotionally attached to the home, as to where if we find a buyer, they're hesitant or they're like, hey, I want to pull my house off the market because they want to stay at the house.
Right. Gotcha. Are you finding that with the changing in the interest rates and the economy as it is right now, that buyers are having to come up with higher down payments than they might have in the past?
Absolutely. Even the amount of home that you're getting for that, for say a certain amount, you're getting less home for that amount because the rates of homes are going up as well. So homes are more expensive than they normally, would be. So you have the rates of the houses that are rising, the mortgage rates rising. So we just want to make sure that someone is, ready to take on that larger down payment. So if someone is expecting to have $10,000 normally, they should probably reach for $14,000-15,000 to have just for the down payment.
And I know you touched on FHA. If I'm not mistaken, FHA is usually around, was it 3.5%?
Correct. Yeah, 3.5 to 5%.
What if they can't go at FHA? What type of down payment percentage wise? And I know you're not a lender, so I'm not going to hold you to a goal. But what kind of rates are you seeing?
I mean, a conventional loan could go anywhere up to 20%. So, conventional loans are kind of more accepted or looked on upon as being positive when it's going, when someone's giving an offer on a home. If you have a conventional loan, 9 out of 10 times the seller is going to go with the conventional loan as opposed to the FHA loan. So it does look better, but you just have to have a lot more down payment and closing costs.
Sure. Well, let me ask you, Krystal, what's one thing, there's a million real estate agents out there, right?
Yeah.
Especially down here, I'm in South Florida. I spend a lot of time also on the other side of the country in Southern California. And I find that becoming a real estate agent has almost become like a hobby now, right? Not
Correct.
so much a profession. And I don't mean that as a dig in any type. What is it that you bring to the table as an agent that obviously takes her craft very seriously? And I will tell everybody, I follow Krystal on social media, as hopefully you will, if you're not already doing so after this interview. And you seem to have a very strong desire to be really tied in with your clients, right? So in order to get to that point, what are some of the things that you try and do that maybe other agents don't do or don't do as well as you that kind of put you at that higher level?
I just think a lot of times agents are 9-to-5 agents or Monday through Friday agents. When you are coming into this, and I like to focus on first-time home buyers and buyers that are relocating out of state, especially from New York to New Jersey. A lot of times people are nervous and they're anxious. This is one of the biggest purchases you'll make in your entire life is buying a home. So this is one of the biggest decisions also in your entire life. So I just feel that there's a lot of agents that, I'm only available 9 to 5 and don't reach me on the weekend because I'm not going to respond to you. That goes for, sellers agents or listing agents as well. They have a home on the market, but they're not responding to agents that are asking questions. So they're doing their client a disservice and also the buyer a disservice. So I just need to make sure, you guys need to make sure that this is a question you should ask when you're interviewing an agent. Do you work 9 to 5 or do you work, 7 days a week? Is there any hours that I can't reach you? How do you prefer for me to get in contact with you? Some agents like, oh, just email me. Text is much easier. You're going to see your text a lot quicker than you would an email. So I just think that all buyers and sellers alike should do their due diligence when looking for a real estate agent. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. I don't work 9 to 5. I know my clients, when they're looking for homes, they're not just looking from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. If they see something on the weekend, they want to maybe see that on the weekend or get some information about the home. So just make sure that your agent is available. And this is not just a hobby. This has to be a career. It has to be a lifestyle. And they have to really be into it and be there for you.
Wow. Great answer. Investment buyers. Let's talk real quickly about that. Is this a good time to flip a house?
I don't want to say the wrong thing because some investors are like, look, people see the high interest rates, so they're going to shy away from buying a home. So now's my time to jump in and purchase a home. But I just want to let everyone know that you're buying a lot less home for a lot more money. The rates of homes are going up regardless. So, you're going to maybe a house that is normally $400,000. They're now selling it for $425,000, $430,000. So you're spending, just say $30,000 on the top end, plus the higher interest rate, mortgage rates. So I think you're going to come out of pocket a lot more if you decide to just jump in without doing your due diligence. Try to look for off market homes if possible, but there, not too many are out there.
Krystal, I wanted to ask you, as far as an investor, we talked a little about flipping houses. Is this a good time for an investor to get into market to buy residential real estate?
That question is a little hard to answer just because, I just had a client who called me actually, and they want to buy a three family home. And he said, is now a good time? The same question you're asking me, is now a good time to purchase a home? And I said, look, I'll be honest. The interest rates, I don't see, the mortgage rates, I don't see them going down anytime this year. If you wanted to wait maybe a year, maybe they'll, the beginning of next year, maybe they'll be a little lower. And on top of that, not only are the interest rates high, the housing price, the prices of homes are higher. So initially, if you were going to get a $400,000 home, that home may now be listed for $425,000. So, people always need homes, but I just think that you'll get less home for more money right now in the market. I'm not telling you to shy away from it, because at the end of the day, once you do the numbers and crunch them, you'll determine, the investor will be able to determine if that's a good, a property for them. But I just think right now, there's nothing's going to go lower. So if you're in the market to purchase a home, buy it now instead of waiting 6 to 8 months, because I don't think you're going to see any decrease in mortgage rates or housing prices.
And if you're a short-term investor where you don't really do a buy and hold, but kind of like we talked
Buy
about,
and flip.
buy and flip,
Mhm.
should you expect to have that house sitting on the inventory a little bit longer than you might have 6-8 months ago because of the conditions you just explained?
Actually, no, because even though 6 to 8 months ago there was a larger a need, everything's supply and demand. So there was a larger need, and people wanted to buy a lot of houses, and people were putting $200,000 over asking price, $50,000 over asking price for homes. I still see there's just people that want to buy homes, and people that dropped out at the end of last year are coming back in and saying, hey, you know what? I can't wait anymore. I need a house. I'm tired of paying rent. I might as well just pay my own mortgage. And then I was telling them, you can refinance. So I don't think that, there's any need to hold back from purchasing a home if that's what you want to do. But, maybe next year the terms will be a little bit better.
Right. I got you. Let me ask you this. I know at one time there was a lot of cash buyers in the market. I know down here in Florida, maybe a year ago, they said over half of new home sales were cash buyers, which obviously is usually an investor market. Are you seeing that up there? Is to that extent or not as much?
No, not really. No. So everybody's going through mortgage, whether it's a no doc loan, whether it's a hard money lender, whether it's FHA, conventional. There's not too many people that are cash buyers. I actually sold a home. The person came in at all cash, but she took out a lot of money from her stocks. So she showed me, proof of income was like over $700,000 in stock. So she took out money from her stock. So rarely you'll have somebody paying all cash these days, but it does happen.
Sure. Awesome. And Krystal, to wrap it up, someone wants to reach you. What, as a buyer or as a seller, what should they come prepared with to be able to sit and talk with you and have you do the amazing job that you do for them? What are the things you'd be looking for, whether it's a buyer or a seller, to get them going?
With buyers, I always just say, whether you come pre-approved or you don't, I would still like for you to meet with my, lender, my preferred lender. Again, I'm not a 9-to-5 realtor. I don't need a 9-to-5 lender. So my lenders, I can reach them at any time, 7 days a week, whether in vacation in Italy or they're in Europe at their son's soccer tournament. I work with the president of the company, of the mortgage company, and he reaches out to me at any time. So like I said, a lot of nerves and anxiousness goes into purchasing a home. So I want to make sure that I can provide you with the service that you deserve. So always just be open to maybe getting a pre-approval from a mortgage lender that, is one of my preferred mortgage lenders. Also, just make sure you have your documentation, whether it's W-2s, bank statements, pay stubs, and obviously they have to check your credit. Those are for, the buyer side. And then for sellers, just make sure that you're ready to sell your home. I don't want, the home to have been in your house for 100 years. And now when it's time to get to the closing table, you back out. And all of this is for naught. So just make sure that you're ready and you're prepared to sell your home. I know it's maybe a little bit of emotional, but you got to just, put your big girl pants on and let it go.
There you go. Krystal, awesome. It's great to talk with you. You have some great insight. How can people get in touch with you if they want to have you help them on their next real estate transaction?
I guess the easiest thing would be just I am Krystal Cologne on Instagram. Straightforward. You can reach out to me in DM, or you can go to the link in my bio, and there I have my contact information, whether it be email, phone. So that would be the easiest way.
It's Krystal with a K.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Krystal Cologne, so amazing to talk with you. Just to let everybody know, Krystal's going to be with us later in the show because she also does life insurance. So we'll be talking with her in a little bit. I really appreciate you joining us today. I know that we're going to see you on future episodes. Thank you so much, Krystal. It was great having you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, Steve. Have a good one.
You as well. Thank you.